Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Laura of LKG329 Sales on eBay, Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube. In this video, I've got some numbers for you from first quarter sales, so let's get to them. So today I'm going to start with some numbers to review my first quarter sales for this year and show you a few of the best and also the worst sales that I've had during this time. I'm hoping to use this as a way to track the growth or the unfortunate decrease of my eBay store from quarter to quarter, year over year. I'm also hoping that this will kind of help be an encouragement to those of you who are just thinking about getting started or who have just gotten started. You know, as you're trying to figure out how things work, as you know, I'm still trying to figure things out myself here. Currently, I've only been selling for a full 8 months on eBay, and I've had a lot of learning experiences. I've made mistakes during this time, but you know, that's a part of life. Everyone makes mistakes. You can't always do everything the correct way the first time. So it's just part of it, and you learn from it and you move on. So to get started, we're gonna look at the sales, expenses, and the actual profit, if any, from first quarter sales this year. So I've got all this wrote down, so I'll be looking down a lot during this video, but I'm gonna try to pop up the numbers over here on the screen so that way you can see them and follow along maybe a little bit better instead of just watching me with my head down reading a piece of paper, reading a document. So we'll start with the sales total per month and then the total for the quarter. So total sales in January were $560.15. February was $581.62. March was $562.83 for a total first quarter sales of $1,704.60. So I was very pleased when I saw that number. I am absolutely happy with that. I'm averaging about $567 in sales a month. So I'm good with that. I'm happy. So now on to the expenses. So my cost of goods for the items that sold, and this is just for the items that sold, not necessarily all the items that I have bought during first quarter this year, but rather the actual cost of the items that have sold. So the January cost of goods that sold was $103.27. February was $117.11, and March was $93.65 for a total cost of goods of $314.03. Next up, I've got the eBay fees, what eBay takes out of those sales. So for January, it was $169.17. February was $152.82. March was at $113.15 for a total of $435.14 in eBay fees that were taken out of those sales, out of the sale totals. Also had a few items that did sell on promoted listings. So what I paid for those promoted listings in January was a total of $14.79. February was $13.25, and then March was only $1.28. For a total of $29.32. So I have kind of started to step away and step back from doing promoted listings as much, just because it's more money that eBay is taking from those sales and from my profit. And so I've just started taking a step back. Some items do really, really well with a promoted listing, and then other items, it's just, if they're not good items, it really doesn't even matter how much you promote them. They're not going to sell if they're not good, which I have several of those in my store. I know that, and I have plans to get some of those cleared out, hopefully at a yard sale coming up soon, and try to get rid of those, not really trash items, but just items that nobody's willing to pay shipping to get. So I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit, but I have backed off on the promoted listings, which is why March's promoted listings was so much less than January and February. Next expense for the first quarter was supplies. So Yes, I do get the USPS free priority mailboxes, but there's a lot of items I sell that are their first class or their medium mail, so I cannot use the priority mailboxes, or they're just too big, and I don't really care much for frankenboxing and making boxes that are big enough. So I do take the expense of buying specific boxes of specific sizes that I use frequently. So boxes, tape, bubble wrap, filler paper, labels, etc., etc. My expenses for those for first quarter, January was $229.33. February, I actually made it through the month of February without having to purchase any supplies at all. And then March was $206.07 for a total of $435.40 in supplies for first quarter. And then lastly, I've just got some other random expenses, store subscription, bank account maintenance fees, because I couldn't find a bank account that would be free so I could do this. But anyways, as part of it. So January was $45, February was also $45, and then March was $102.93 for a total of $192.93 on other expenses that don't fall under supplies. I also track equipment expenses like a ring light, tripods, printers, and stuff like that, shelving, but I did not buy any of that so far first quarter. I do have plans to purchase more shelving, but I'm not quite to the point where I need it yet, so I'm going to put that off as long as I can. So those are my expenses for first quarter. So we've got, so total sales was $1,704.60, taking away the cost of goods at $314.03, eBay fees at $435.14, promo listings at $29.32, supplies at $435.40, and all other expenses at $192.93. That leaves me with a total profit, I did make profit, for first quarter of $297.78. So I'm not going to lie, I was a little unhappy with that number being as low as it is. That's averaging less than $100 profit each month. But I mean, if I want that number higher, I just got to put in more work, is all it is. And I'm only doing this part-time. This isn't a full-time gig. I do this as I have time and as I feel like it, to be honest. So I do try to stay pretty regular with my listings. Speaking of listings, I also looked back to see how many days I listed for first quarter, and I listed a total of 62 days during first quarter, which added 257 listings to my eBay store. And I didn't think to tell you how many listings sold. Pull that up right quick. So I had 140 sold listings during that time. And so I definitely could have done much better than that, which would have in turn increased my sales and increased that profit. But it is what it is. We do not have a routine schedule, so I work when I can, when I feel like it. And yes, I do try to be diligent in it. And I do have a purpose behind doing eBay, but it's not a need. And so, I just do it as I have time and as I feel like it. I was going to share with you the 5 worst sales that I had during first quarter this year. The first one is a set of false graph salad plates. This is a set of 5. They are damaged. They do have some chipping and some glaze crazing, and that was in the description. I originally, well, let's start here. I purchased these August 20th, and it was quite a few dishes. I don't remember what I actually paid for all of the dishes in the set, but I didn't attribute any cost to these because they are damaged. So I knew they weren't going to bring much profit, if any profit at all, because they're damaged. And this was when I was first starting. I was just trying to get used to doing listings. So I was listing whatever I found, almost regardless of condition. But I did document well in the listing the damage that was there, as well as putting it in the description, you know, that these are damaged, they've got issues, you know, just be aware about this. And I started the listing at $5.99, and I listed it on August 30th, and they were listed for 148 days before they finally sold January 24th. After bringing the price down multiple times, they sold for $1.99. eBay's fees were $1.05. No, they weren't. That's not right. Hang on. I thought I had this all put on here just like it's supposed to be, but that I do not think that was right. No, eBay fees were $3.04, and so I took a loss of $1.05 on that listing. I knew something wasn't adding up, but so yeah, so that was a beginner's mistake, and I was using that as a learning experience. I was pretty sure I was going to lose money on it. I probably should have just taken it down, but by the time I realized how the eBay fees actually worked, I had completely forgotten about this listing. Didn't even cross my mind that eBay fees were going to be more than the actual sale price of the item, so it's okay. I'm not mad. Next item is a Keystone 35mm projector case, just the case. I purchased this January 24th for 50 cents. Listed it January 28th for $9.99, not expecting to have much, if any, interest in it at all, especially at that price. But it was listed for 2 days before I received an offer at $5 for it. And the buyer did send me a message and said, hey, I'm hoping you can make your profit off the shipping, because this is all I'm willing to pay. Shipping was $35 to $40 for this item. And so I did make profit on the shipping, but I'm not counting shipping. This is just worst sales based on item. Shipping is not included. I do calculated shipping on probably 98% of my listings. And so, shipping is not included in any of this. But in the end, I did accept the offer at the $5. eBay fees were $5.68. So on the item itself, I took a loss of $1.18 for that one. Third worst sale for the quarter was a set of two Gibson plates and two Gibson bowls and two Betty Crocker plates. These were purchased at the same time from the same sale. In the same purchase. I didn't pay separately for these, even though they were different brands. But I bought these September 10th for $1.90 is what it ended up equaling out to when I divided the expense across each item. Listed them September 30th for a total of $11.96, and they were listed for 129 days before they sold on February 5th, after reducing the price and adding volume pricing to those. So they got a discount because this was a multi-quantity listing. So they did get a discount on those in addition to me already reducing the pricing. And so they ended up paying $5.40 for these items. The eBay fees were $5.78 for a total loss of $2.28 on these items. And which kind of started my realization that I don't really care for selling glassware. Which I don't know much about the name brands. I didn't even know Betty Crocker had dishware, so I thought they might be a little better in value than what they were, but they're not. So once again, another learning experience. Second worst sale of the quarter is this canvas patriotic butterfly bag with rope handles. It also had an anchor themed unused new with tags beach towel in it, included with it. And I probably could have gotten more for this if I had waited and let the listing sit until, June, closer to 4th of July and summertime, everybody's going to the beach. Probably could have got more for this, but really, I didn't care on this listing. I just didn't. I knew I paid up for the item, and I paid up for it because I talked to the lady that was selling it and kind of felt bad for her, and so I just purchased it. I paid $5 for the bag and the towel, and just wanted it gone. So I put it up on auction on November 11th. So I bought it October 22nd for $5, listed it November 11th on auction starting at 99 cents. It was relisted on auction automatically for a total of 57 days when it sold January 6th for bottom price of 99 cents. eBay fees were $1.92, so I took a loss of $5.93 on that item. And like I said, I knew I was expecting that one, and I probably could have done better even if I had just held it and put it out in a yard sale. I probably would have got more than 99 cents for it. But like I said, that item, I honestly, full disclosure, I just didn't care. I did not care with that item, so that was on me. So now on to the worst sale of the quarter. So this was a multiple item sale. All of these are part of the Betty Crocker dishware sets. Once again, all of these were purchased September 10th. I had a total cost of $3.62 in these particular items. Listed them September 30th for a total of $12.22. They were listed for 130 days. And some of these I did bring the price down a little on them. So they finally sold for a combined sale of $9.48. eBay fees were $12 on this. And so I took a loss of $6.14 total for each item. So each item I lost a little bit, but the combined, because it was a single sale to one person, the combined loss on all those items was $6.14. So for these 5 items, I ended up only losing $16.58 on the item. I honestly didn't look to see if I completely recovered that with the shipping, but I'm just looking at the sale. And so as far as the item, those are the 5 worst sales of the quarter for me. All right, so now on to the last portion of this video, the 5 best sales that I had during first quarter this year. 5th best sale I had was a Saddlebred 3-piece black suit. Didn't have any cost in this. Listed it September 29th for $39, and it was listed for 106 days before it sold on January 12th with a best offer at $33. eBay fees were $6.52, so total profit was $26.48 for this suit. Next best sale, this is a Philips Magnavox VCR with the remote. I think it had the remote. I don't know, you'll see in the picture whether or not it had the remote. I can't remember for sure. Let's see, I bought this November 21st for $3. Listed it December 9th for $44.99. It was listed for 33 days before it sold January 11th at the full asking price of $44.99. eBay fees were $9.14, leaving a total profit of $32.85 for this VCR. Third best sale for the quarter. This is a Wii console. I got this at a thrift store for $10. It did include the power cord, the AV cord, and the motion sensor bar. Did not have any controllers, so I did use our controllers to test it. Got it home, and when I finally did test it, I let it sit for a little bit. Finally tested it and turned it on, and it actually had Wii Sports in it, so that was a plus. And then as I was looking through it, realized that it also had several other old vintage Nintendo games downloaded on it, like Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3, Timco Ball or something like that, Pac-Man, and a few others. Once again, that'll be up on the screen so you can see what was there. So that really increased the value of the console. And so, like I said, I paid $10 for it on January 13th. Didn't list it till March 14th for $69.99. And I did list it a little high. I knew I probably wouldn't get that for it. So I listed it high and received a couple of offers and accepted an offer the next day on March 15th for $52.70 for this Wii console with the power cord. I did not include any controllers or anything with it. It was just the console with its extra games, power cord, AV cord, and motion sensor bar. eBay fees on this was $4.92 and leaving a profit of $37.38 on that item. Second best item that sold during this quarter, this is a Sony SLV D370p DVD VCR combo. It had the remote, it had the user manual, and it had the capability to record to either format. And I tested it. It worked without fail. Of course, the only thing I don't test on these particular things are the recording function, which is in the description. But these, so far, by far, these are my favorite items to sell. I love selling these. I bought this on February 24th for $12 at an estate sale. Listed it March 8th for $89.99. And it sold in 8 minutes for the full asking price of $89.99. So I definitely could have listed that higher, but that was the first Sony combo that I'd had. So I wasn't completely sure what to list it at, but I know going forward that that was a really good one, apparently. eBay fees on that were $9.82 for a total profit of $68.17 on that item. And so the number one best sale that I had during first quarter is a set of books. This is Clark's Commentary 6-volume set on the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament included. Did not have anything in these. Listed them January 28th for $139.99 based on other sold comps and current listings. And it was listed for 20 days before it sold on February 16th with a best offer at $119. eBay fees were $21.92, leaving a profit of $97.08 for these books. So for the 5 best sales, total profit on those was $261.96. And I was happy with that. I was happy to see that number. So that's my first quarter review. Definitely could have been better, but you know, it could have also been worse. So I'm just happy that there was some profit left over after the expenses and everything are taken out. So if you're willing to share, those of you who do sell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, or any other selling platform, I'd love to hear what's your best sale or worst sale. You know, not necessarily just from first quarter this year, but even your all-time best or your all-time worst sale. Just especially for those that are looking to get into this or are just getting into it, to show that, you know, not every sale is a profitable sale, but you're also going to have sales that are profitable. Just to show that there is a difference in each sale. Not every sale is profitable, and not every sale is as profitable as the other profitable sales. And same for the sales that you lose on. If you're willing to share that, leave that down in the comments below. Also, feel free to leave any feedback, questions, or suggestions in regards to this video. I'd love to read them, and any questions that you may have, I'll do my best to answer them. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been helpful to you, and thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one.